In today's video, I'm going to go over a paladin build, better known as a Templar. A Templar is a paladin that utilizes Fist of Heavens, does lightning damage. As with all builds in Diablo 2, there's no wrong or right way to use gear. You either use what you have, or you trade up or magic find to get better gear. Some gear does better damage, some gear has better survivability. For PvP, you always want to try to have the best, but this is a PVM. I'm going to do some magic find with this character. As you can see by the glowing lights coming from my paladin, I'm using the paladin's full set, Griswold's Legacy. The armor, Griswold's Heart, is a very common drop. If you do daily MF runs, you probably find 2 or 3 of these per day. It's that common. The helmet and the shield are very rare. In my 17 going on 18 years of playing this game, I found one shield, the one I have equipped now, and 3 helmets. One here, and I got 2 on mule accounts. And I just found the other 2 in the last month and a half doing magic find runs. So I don't magic find like I used to. I don't go hard at it. I don't go hardcore no life like I used to. I'm older now. I have more responsibilities, so I don't get to magic find like I used to. You magic find a lot, you could probably find all of these items. But that's a different story for a different day. I'm using the Griswold's Legacy simply because, one, it looks kick-ass. 2, the full set bonuses are very nice. But most importantly, it each piece, all 4 pieces have open sockets. I'm not sure of the amount of sockets that each gear can have or not have. Like, I think the shield may be able to have up to 4. Mine has 3. I don't know. As always, I say I'm not an expert. I just play the game. In each open socket, except for the shield, I have put 5/5 lightning facets, or facet, however you want to say it. This gives me more lightning damage for my Fist of Heavens, and it lowers my enemy's lightning resistance for Fist of Heavens. Most of the other stats on each gear has nothing to do with damage, more or less survivability, or it doesn't affect you at all. On the armor, the +2 defensive auras will give you 2 more skills to defiance, which is a synergy for your holy shield. The strength is nice because once you get to 102, you have an instant 122, and you need to get to 148 for the shield. In the helmet, Griswold's Valor, again, I have 2 sockets and I put 2 5/5s in there. There's 27% chance of getting, better chance of getting magic items, which is not as good as a Shaco or a Shaco, whatever you want to call it, but it's 27%. There's 20% cold absorb based on my character level, and I'm only a level 81. So you get 20 cold absorb from the helmet, and you get 20 cold absorb from the Ravenfrost. So you got 40% cold absorb. Really doesn't matter in PVM. Really doesn't matter in PvP. But it's there. Plus 5 to all resistances. Very, very low on the helmet. Not sure if there's a higher roll on the resistances. I'm not looking. I'm not looking at the Area Summit website. But this additional set bonus is plus 2 to offensive auras, which I believe your offensive auras would be your Holy Shock and your Conviction. We'll look at that in a minute. The weapon, Griswold's Redemption. It has 4 open sockets, so I'll put 4 5/5 lightning facets in there. Facets. Again, I don't know what the correct word to saying it is, but for whatever reason, Diablo 2, if you mispronounce a word of a skill or an armor, and you can just be judged beyond your wildest imagination. People get so critical when you talk about this game. You say something wrong or you mess up on a stat. I mess up a lot. Anyway, 4 5/5 facets. The IAS, the enhanced damage, the damage to undead, the lightning damage does not even matter because you're not attacking with your weapon. You could, I guess you could, but I'm never switching from Fist to Heavens. I go from charge to movability and back to Fist to Heavens for my damage. The additional set bonus is 2 plus 2 to combat skills, Fist to Heavens, and Holy Shield are your combat skills. So you get a little bit more bonus to those. And then the last piece would be Griswold's Honor, it's a Vortex Shield. This one here has 3 sockets. I put 1 5/5 in it, and then I put 2 runes for resistances. Now the block rate and the increased chance of blocking is good to have. There's no additional set bonuses other than the full set bonus. But that's my main gear that you have to have on for the set bonuses to work and to look like you're just a ray of sunshine. I love the way they did that with Tal Rasha, Immortal Kings, and Alders. Amulet, Maris Kaleidoscope. This is a 2/5/23. Well, if you take that off, you lose all your... Yeah, so I don't know what my if I had enough strength without the 5 attributes, my resistances would be, I would get 89 resistances from the shield. So I would have max resist even without the Maris. But I'm getting 2 skills and I'm trying to get as much damage as possible. The damage is not very high for a Fist of Heavens, but it kills. Other choices, I guess, would be a crafted plus 2 paladin skill amulet with some resistances on it. You're not, like I said, you're not getting any melee damage mods, so hollers wouldn't work other than the plus skills. As far as your unique amulets, I think Maris would be the best. Although Serap's Hymn would probably be even better. And I have a few of those laying around because you would get 2 skills and you would get 2 more to defense, which your Defiance or makes your Holy Shield better. For the rings, I'm using SOJ because that's just what you do. And a Raven Frost for the Cannot Be Frozen because you are melee damage, so you need Cannot Be Frozen. The 40 mana is helpful because this Fist of Heavens uses 26 mana per cast. Pre-buff, I got 328 mana. After buff, I think I got 400 and something mana. So your mana pool is not heavy like a sorceress would be. So any extra mana is helpful. For the belt, I'm using a Spiderweb Sash. The 1 to all skills is nice. The slows target by 10% is nice. Cast rate does nothing for this character. There is a 1 second delay on Fist of Heavens. No matter how much cast rate you have, no matter how much attack speed you have, there's just a 1 second delay on Fist of Heavens. T-Gods is a good belt. Really any belt you have would work. This is the only belt that has +1 to all skills, so that's why I'm using it. For the gloves, I'm using Chance Guards. I am doing Magic Find, so I went with a pair of Chance Guards just for that extra 36%. 40 would be perfect. Again, attack speed and crush and blow, any other type of mod you can get on gloves doesn't really apply to Fist of Heavens. For the boots, I'm using the Sandstorm Treks. I'm only using Sandstorm Trek so I could obtain a faster hit recovery breakpoint. The run walk is 20%, and that's very low. I prefer to have a 40% run walk, and you can use, I like to use Alder's boots. That's my favorite boots in the game. If I could I could probably ignore faster hit recovery breakpoints, or at least the one I'm trying to obtain. I would hit, there's a 40 something breakpoint that I would hit, but I'm after the 86 breakpoint, and I actually have 88 FHR. But you could take these boots off and put whatever you have on there. Again, I'm using these boots for the FHR. And then on Switch, as usual, I have a CTA. This is a 461. And then I have a Spirit and a Royal Shield for the +2 to all skills. In my inventory, I have a 37 Geeds, and then an assortment of FHR small charms. So like I said, I have 88 FHR. The breakpoint I was after was 86. And then I have a few 7s, 6s, and 5s, and a few 4 MF charms, small charms. Only have 2 7s on this character. And then I have a 13, 15, 7 Annie. And then I'm using a 2017 torch. Again, I only have one Paladin torch. It's on my Hammerden. If I ever get lucky and get another one, it probably won't go to this particular build, just because I want one for my Smiter and my Zealer. So I'm just using this strictly for the attributes and the resistances. 2017. So that's my gear setup. As far as my attributes, to obtain max block, you need 130 points in the dexterity, and to wear your gear you need 148. So I'm actually 1 point over. When I was gearing it up, I just went one more point. I always accidentally click that stat point button one more time. I remember back in the day when you didn't have tokens and you wasn't provided with 3 respecs per character, so you really had to know what you was doing. And in the beginning, I can remember making so many garbage characters and just deleting them, because you actually had to put points in the mana, and you just because you didn't have, there was no respec, so you just had to carefully. I can remember sitting around with a notebook, and I still have that notebook, my Diablo 2 notebook, and I had my builds written down level by level, what I was putting my skill points in, what I was putting my attribute points in, and trying to calculate damage. Those were the good old days when I didn't have nothing to worry about except playing video games. But now you can respec. You can just grind out tokens, and then, like I said, you're allowed 3 respecs per character. So again, 148 is what you need for strength, 130 and dexterity, and the rest would go in vitality. Pre-buff, I got 1629 life, and like I said, 328 mana. I'm max resist. I have max block. I've obtained my FHR breakpoint of 86, and I have 180% magic find. With all of the 5/5 lightning facets, I have plus 50 lightning damage and minus 50 lightning resistances. So that's pretty nice. And as far as your skill tree, when it comes to the combat tree, you want to max out Fist of Heavens and you want to max out Holy Shield. You put 1 point in everything else to get here. Your Fist of Heaven synergies, you do have a 15% Holy Bolt damage per level from Holy Bolt, but I never really maxed it out. I don't think it's worth it. So just 1 point to get to where you need to get. And then you also get 7% lightning damage for Holy Shot for every level. So in your combat tree, you only want to max out Fist of Heavens and you only want to max out Holy Shield. Holy Shield gets a bonus from Defiance. Offensive auras. Holy Shot is your main synergy for Fist of Heaven, so you want to max it out. And then you only really need 25 points in Conviction. After 25, your resistances will never get greater than 150 or minus 150. Just remember that. 25 is the max. And of course, whenever I was gearing up, I didn't pay attention. I got 2 offensive auras, plus 2 to offensive from the Griswold's Valor helmet. So I could have stopped. I could have stopped at 23 and got my max. Now, minus 150 to all resistances when this is active, and then I have minus 50 from my character from the gear. So technically I have minus 200 to lightning and minus 150 to everything else. So your mercenary does not need to carry an infinity. Yes, you could put an infinity on your mercenary and you wouldn't have to put points in conviction, but I don't know. I mean, this is the build that I'm using. There's nothing that would, there's no other fanaticism, concentration, blessed aim, might, none of that would work with Fist of Heavens. So conviction's a good one. I guess this theory crafting, if you had an infinity on your mercenary, you could probably keep Holy Shock active. I mean, it's doing 1.6k damage, or excuse me, it's don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's doing 400. It's not worth keeping up. Disregard that comment. That wasn't that's not worth it. You could, if you wasn't running conviction, you could probably get by with keeping Defiance up for more defense, or any of the other, I don't know. You could use whatever you wanted. I'm using conviction because of the meditation on the insight is needed, because without it you'll run out of mana pots and you'll run out of mana and you'll keep having to go back to town. So remember, in your offensive tree, max out Holy Shot, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then do 25. No more than 25 in your conviction. Defense, put all remaining points into Defiance to buff up your Holy Shield. You get 15% defense per level for every point into Defiance. Again, I'm only level 81. I try to get to level 90 with all of my builds. I doubt I will ever get to level 90 with this character because I don't play it that often. The time I do have to play Diablo 2, I'm going to play my Sorceress and my Assassin. That's just what I do. I'm just showing off this build just in case you want to try it out, because there's not many people playing this type of build. It's real. To be honest with you, yes, it does kill. It doesn't kill quickly like the rest of the builds. It's very slow. It's very methodical because of the 1 second delay on Fist of Heavens. The key word you gotta remember, it's different. It's different than any other thing in Diablo 2. So remember, max out Fist of Heavens, maxed out Holy Shield, max out Holy Shock, 25 points of conviction, and the rest of your points you have left you put in Defiance. You could put 1 point. Cleansing's a good one. Vigor's a good one, and Redemption's a good one to have 1 point in just for that extra aura when you need to cleanse poison, or because it does, you get poison from Andy or those tomb vipers or pit vipers, you can cleanse yourself and it heals. And then that's if you want to run a little faster, because you're not teleporting, you are running. I do use charge when I'm running from place to place. So that's the stat points, that's the skill points, that's the gear. As far as my mercenary, I don't have any ethereal gear. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. I could go and get my ethereal Archon Fortitude off of another character, but I don't feel like losing it. So I have just a Fortitude Scarab Husk for armor, which is enough. I have a G-Face, which is got some good stats. It's one of the best helmets in the game for mercenary and melee characters, I think. And then I have an Insight Cryptic Axe. I'm using the Cryptic Axe because my strength is not 200 or 205. You need 200 for an ethereal CV, 25 for a non-eth CV. So I'm using the Cryptic Axe. Level 12 meditation, it's a low roll. But this is non-ladder. I can't re-roll it. And this is the only Cryptic Axe Insight that I have, or the one that I found after looking through mules, and I just get tired of doing that sometimes. One day I'm going to make a list of what every item all my mules have, just because I ain't got nothing better to do. And I'd be curious to know exactly how many Fortitudes and Enigmas and Spiderweb Sashes and BK, just to see what I got, make a tally of. But he's doing 1026 to 3175 damage. He doesn't have max resist. I could put a Room in the G face and get that extra resist if I needed it. He stays alive. His defense is high enough. He does enough damage. He helps out. The biggest difference when you're playing this build is you're not teleporting. So your mercenary will get left behind, and sometimes you need his extra damage and his meditation to refuel your mana pool so you can continue casting your Fist of Heavens. But I'm using charge to get around when I need to get from waypoint to another spot. Quick quickie. I can't believe I just said quickie. Disregard that comment. But but you know what I mean, quickly. Charge is only using 9 mana, so you can go a good distance before you have to pop a mana pot. But he doesn't stack with you whenever you're traveling. As far as my keybinds on this character, I keep Fist of Heavens on S and Charge on A, and that's the only two abilities that I'm using on my left click. And then I keep Conviction on E, Holy Shield on X, and that's it. E and X. And then I use spacebar to switch, and I have my battle orders on F1 and battle command on F2, or command on 1, orders on 2. I use town portal for R, and again my weapon switch is spacebar. So I'm always having Conviction up and Fist of Heavens in my left ability. So that is the gear. That is the stats. Uh, let's go kill a few things. I don't have all the waypoints on this character, but I have enough. We can go and do our usual Frigid Highlands waypoint. Go ahead and get our buffs up. Basically what you do is you put your cursor over the enemy that you want to attack, and you hit him with Fist of Heavens. And to be quite honest with you, I don't even think you have to target a character. As long as you have monsters in radius, you'll hit them with your Fist of Heaven. So let's go kill these. And there we go. Drop those. Makes that cool sound. Might wake up the dead and wake up your neighborhood if you play with a loud system, but why not? As you can see, it's got the same amount. The kill speed might be a few seconds slower than your typical sorceress or your assassin or lightning furies on, but it's just another character that uses lightning damage, and it's pretty fun. Yeah, I don't have all the waypoints. We'll go do a pit run.
Even the light cannot pierce this gloom.
Come on now, open the door. There you go. I mean, as you can see, it as far as these little, it kills pretty much kills everything with one shot. I think it took me like 6 shots to kill Diablo. So I mean, it's a lightning sword would probably do it after static X, like what, 2 or 3 lightning shots, and it's dead. Diablo would be dead. So again, your killing speed is slower than most. The key word you got to remember is it's different. That's all. When you get tired of the norm. stand here for a minute. As you can see, I'm not really taking any damage because of my FHR, my max block. I'm taking a little bit of damage, but my mercenary's dead. Oh, there he is. Hit the wrong button. See, he's stuck. See how he's stuck back there? So you're not getting his meditation. He'll eventually get up here, but if you get stuck like that, you can either run back. So I think he's found his way. Here he comes. Up here, buddy. Come on, man. You can come up them steps. No, he's in a world of his own. So you just do like this. And there you go. Rebuff. But your mercenary will get like that when you're in like the pits and ancient tunnels and world stone, and you do use charge to get to and from. He will get stuck, so you just teleport back to town or go back and get him, whichever you choose to do. There's a 4-socket loricated. I like the way a loricated mill looks. That'd be a good change of honor. Loricated mill looks pretty dang good. Let's see if we can put it on him and see what it looks like.
I can't use this yet.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice armor. I like it, but I don't need it. I'll sell it, get the gold. But I mean, like I said, it doesn't have the fastest kill speeds in the game, but you can still kill just about every area of the game. In my opinion, it's fun. Like I said, you could probably gear him up like a caster, Hodo, Enigma, Spirit, Shaco, Mage Fist, War Traps, you know, and Magic Find, like the best of them, and teleport around. Your damage might be higher because of the plus skills. It might be lower. I don't know. I just went with this particular setup because it's Griswold's Legacy, and you don't really see that many paladins in Griswold's Legacy. Back in the day, you didn't either, and to this day, you don't see many people wearing it or using it. It's not the most effective build or gear setup, in my opinion, but again, I like to use it sometimes. It's one of those characters that I have when I don't feel like playing a sorceress and I don't feel like playing a Hammerden. So take this video for what it's worth. If it's helpful, hey, I did something productive. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not for everybody. But this is a Templar. Back in the day, it was I think a pretty effective PvP build when it was one-on-one duels and not all this bad manner 5-on-1 type stuff. And because I mean you're doing minus 200 to lightning resistances, so no matter what type of they could have on T-Gods and 2 Wisp Protectors for lightning absorb, and you're still dropping dropping lightning down on them. And you could two-shot them most of the time, three-shot them. Just depends. Just depends. But this is a like I said, this is a Templar. It's not commonly used for magic find. I just do some magic finding grand charms on. I mean some small charms and the Geeds. And then the only MF my gear has is the Chanseys, and then the 27% from the helmet. It's got 180. That's enough to find some stuff. You know, my trap stand has 500. My lightning source has 400 and something. This has 180. Um, yeah, you could probably trade all these 4 and 5 and 6 MF small charms in for 7s and get a little bit more. Probably push 250 if you did that right and trade out your. You could probably trade. I mean, you could trade out Trex for Travs. You could trade out Spiderweb Sash for Gold Wrap. Possibly get rid of an SOJ for a Nagel, whatever you want to call it, and get another 30. It's whatever you got. You don't have to have this gear. You can build your characters any way you want to. You can magic find with whoever you want to, however you want to. The main thing in video games, especially Diablo 2, is having fun. If you're not having fun, then you need to quit playing, find something else to do with your time. That's what it's all about. Fun, fun, fun. But again, this is my take on a PVM magic finding Templar utilizing Griswold's legacy. I like it. Try it out if you can. If you can't, you know, try something else. Just have fun. So I appreciate you watching. Probably going to put another video out in a couple of weeks. I don't know what it's going to be on yet. Probably my Zillidan Paladin. Just like I said, I'm going through all my builds, showing them off in the videos. You've seen most of this stuff before, but it's just me rambling on, running my mouth when I ain't got nothing better to do. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good day.